I've got a question for you single ladies out there. Should you ever settle? I'm sure now you're screaming at the YouTube screen, hell no, I'm not going to be doing that. However, as a dating coach, I'm going to be giving you 3 slightly unusual reasons why you might want to reconsider what settling could mean to you. Now, no doubt, settling sounds like an awful word. It sounds a little bit like spinster and sort of like a negative thing that we say to single women to make them feel bad about themselves and that they just have to hurry up, get off that shelf and go and find a partner. However, I do think there are 3 reasons why you might want to look at this differently in your mind. Reason number 1 is I think we should, instead of seeing any compromise in a relationship as settling, I think there's a point of personal maturity where you simply realize that the standards that you want and what you're looking for in a relationship has changed. And that perhaps what you saw as super important 5, 10, 20, however many years ago it was, with your new experiences, with what you know about yourself, with what you've come to appreciate in dating relationships, may not be so important to you anymore. So I wouldn't see it as settling, but I would accept if your standards around things have changed and what was important to you in the past no longer seems to be all that important to you. And of course, when it comes to what's important, instead of focusing on whether he's over 6 foot, let's forget the superficiality and instead hold really good standards around how he treats you. Secondly, another part about being a more emotionally mature person who's actually ready to build a relationship with someone is that you might no longer be waiting for that awesome, magical, 100% perfect prince to come along and sweep you off your feet. You may have a more realistic view of relationships. And really, it's not about waiting for someone to complete our personal mythology and make everything that we've done in the past totally okay. A lot of the time, it's actually about finding someone who is a willing co-creator of that relationship with you. Someone who will help you at every stage to build the relationship, to communicate, to come back to that table after an argument, to seek compromise. All of these qualities, though not necessarily those sexy qualities that we might have looked at in the past, are actually what really builds a strong relationship. Finally, when it comes to the idea of settling, it can be really tempting very early on in a relationship to be thinking, oh my gosh, but if this is the one, then I'm not sure because they snore or something else that you're not so keen on. Really though, keep your feet on the ground and remember how far into the relationship you actually are. If you've only been seeing someone for a couple of days, weeks or months, you don't actually have to make a decision right here, right now, whether they fulfill this role of being this amazing person in your life. Sometimes if you're not ready to make that judgment call, it simply means you have to give that process a bit more time and put a little bit of less pressure on yourself. So rather than feeling like you're stuck between breaking something off or settling, which you're not sure you're comfortable with, may just be a good time to ride it out and see if you guys become closer together or further apart as time goes on. So while settling might seem like a really anti-woman, anti-single woman word, I think there's parts of the concept which can still be applicable and make us happier with modern dating. I think rather than having super sky-high expectations or believing that there is one mystical, perfect person who is going to just sort us out as people, sometimes it's so much better to come from the mindset of thinking, okay, I'm going to let this relationship grow, I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to go with it before I make too many snap decisions. Secondly, you could think, I'm not looking for a perfect person, I'm looking for a person who I get on well with, who accepts me, and who wants to work at this relationship just as much as I do. Thirdly, it could be about recognizing what's important to you today rather than what was important to you in the past. As we change and we grow, it's not about lowering our standards, it's about recognizing what actually we really should hold standards around. Now, if you want to be an empowered, awesome single woman in the space, I have 3 other videos ready for you where you can answer other key dating and relationship questions. And if you want to click on the link below this video, you can get more dating advice from me, which is non-patronizing and empowers you as a woman. Okay, speak to you soon.